the Packers lose Aaron Rodgers and they lose to the Eagles on Sunday Night Football. And there's a little concern that Aaron Rodgers could be out this week. They said if he's healthy that they'll play him. But do you think it's time for the Packers to start Jordan Love, or do you think that's idiotic? Yeah, how do you say it? Oh, I'm just gonna say, is it crazy? Because I'm not coming
Idiotic.
I'm not gonna come off dumb here. That's the word. There you go. Thank you. Why I came off dumb?
Yeah, you're fine. Well, as I'm looking at the schedule right now, well, thank you, Hank. We appreciate that comment. But as I'm looking at the Packers schedule right now, they're 4-8. Yeah. I think their chances of getting in the playoffs are very slim. I think this offseason could be very crucial for them because they either have an opportunity to get Aaron Rodgers more weapons or, more pieces, let's say, like to that offensive line, maybe to the defense, to maybe pursue another playoff run next year. Or what they can do is see what they have in Jordan Love to then make that decision. Because ironically enough, we were a couple of days short of the 15-year anniversary between when Aaron Rodgers took over for Brett Favre due to an injury, Sunday Night Football, very similar situation. Jordan Love played really, really well, all things considered. In the preseason, he never looks very good, at least in my opinion. So I've always wondered, is this guy really the real deal? It was good to see that against an Eagles defense, he held his own. Granted, they were playing like a zone prevent defense for the rest of the game. But I mean, he was able to get a touchdown on them. He looked like he was in sync with the receivers. If I'm the Green Bay Packers, I'm looking at the schedule. We may be lucky to get to 9 wins if we go on a 5-game winning streak. And that won't even guarantee to get you in the playoffs because, you'll only have essentially one more spot because essentially 2 spots are going to be taken by either somebody coming out of the NFC East or out of the West, in my opinion. And I don't think the Packers are going to be that team that can sneak in there. Unless the 49ers have an epic collapse, unless the Cowboys or the Giants have an epic collapse, I don't know if the Green Bay Packers can sneak in, considering how bad they've looked offensively. And this is with Aaron Rodgers at quarterbacks. I think roll the dice. Let's see what you got in Jordan Love. What's the worst that's going to happen? He goes on this win streak that you're hoping for, or he gets his trade value up and maybe you flip him for some draft picks, or whatever the case may be. But I think we're at the point now where we need to see what's going on with Jordan Love. We know what we're getting with Rodgers. It's not a playoff berth, and it's certainly not going to be in the Super Bowl, which he basically has not been to in how many years now? Since 2011. And yet he's dubbed like the bad man. And yet he's had one playoff appearance or one Super Bowl appearance, excuse me. I mean, we got to see what we got with Jordan Love. You drafted him in the first round. He's just wasting on the bench. So why not see what's going on? So I say go ahead and throw him in there for the remaining of the season and see what happens. Why not? What's the worst that's going to happen?
I get what you're saying, but I'm actually going to back up Aaron Rodgers here. I think you have to play him. And the reason I say that is you decided that you were going to pay for him. You decided to draft Jordan Love when you still had Aaron Rodgers. You decided that you weren't going to draft all these weapons. Now all of a sudden it's going to change because Aaron Rodgers got hurt? No. You know what? You are going to have to lay in your bed that you made. That is all on the Packers. I'm sorry. I'm not a huge Aaron Rodgers fan. I mean, he's an incredible talent. I'm not going to bash him like that, but I think Aaron Rodgers is kind of in the right in this situation because they didn't have to cave into anything that he did. If they thought that Jordan Love was the guy to start, they wouldn't have signed Aaron Rodgers. And I've heard this too, which I think is actually false as well. They're like, if you didn't sign Aaron Rodgers, you guys could have gotten Devontae Adams back. I still think he would have wanted to play with Las Vegas, to be perfectly honest. I don't think it's anything against Jordan Love. I don't even think it was against Aaron Rodgers. I think he just was a free agent, knew he was going to get paid no matter where he went, whether he stayed in Green Bay or left. And he wanted to play with a friend because he wanted to play with him for a few more years. So that's what he did. And I mean, I don't think you're in a different situation if you had Jordan Love all year. So for me, I really do think that this is the Packers doing. They're the ones who decided we're going to pay Aaron Rodgers all this money. We're going to put up with all this bull crap. Okay, Now you got to put up with everything else that happens. You're gonna have to put up with, hey, you guys need to get me some receivers. And they're like, oh, well, we drafted Christian Watson and he's been great, but I don't think it's really necessarily Christian Watson doing everything. I think it's more Aaron Rodgers has been really helping him out. Obviously, that one pass by Jordan Love helped. But for the most part, I really think that this is the Packers doing. And now this is what everyone was saying, that what if he gets hurt? What if he decides to retire? Where are you guys? You guys are literally in the same boat that we all said in the beginning before you guys signed him. This is exactly what the issue was. And now you have it a little bit earlier than you thought. And now you guys are screwed. You traded away all your best defensive players. You traded away your best receiver. And you sign Aaron Rodgers to this huge contract. I'm actually on Aaron Rodgers' side. If you have Aaron Rodgers, you play him. Because if you guys are going to keep doing this, how you've been playing, then you're going to have a top 15 pick. If you don't, and all of a sudden you guys went out, then you can say, hey, we can draft a few, we can draft some receivers. We can draft a couple of defensive players, and we're good. You know what I mean? So for me, I just think you made the bed. You made the Aaron Rodgers bed. You also have to sleep in it too.
It's a good one. I mean, it's hard to argue, but yeah, you're right.
I mean, I get what you're saying. I do. I understand where everyone would say, but the fact of the matter is they're paying him this much money. They are not going to bench him. Now, if he's not 100%, then they can be like, tell the doctor to tell Aaron that he's not cleared. And then they'd be like, yeah.
Well, listen, I'm not saying that they should bench him because they're paying him all this money or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, look, you're offering him a lot of money, a lot of it guaranteed. Wouldn't it be in the Packers' best interest then you're not going to make the playoffs? Can we agree that they're not going to make the playoffs? Can we?
Yeah.
Okay. What's the point then of playing meaningless games? Rest him, get him healthy. He's got to spend the entire offseason now with these younger receiver cores, maybe build that trust. Christian Watson is kind of gaining that trust as he's caught 6 touchdown passes in like 3 games or something weird like that. So why not rest him, let him get healthy, because apparently he has like bruised ribs or punctured lung or whatnot. Let him get healthy, see what you got in Jordan Love. If you want to flip Jordan Love for some draft picks, go right ahead to help Aaron Rodgers. But in my opinion, playing in meaningless games is only going to hurt Aaron Rodgers. If you paid him all this money for this extension, it's in your best interest to protect your investment rather than run him into the ground, in my opinion.